This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
What's that?
Thumposaurus. It's still stuck in my head.
Which song is that?
Strutting.
Oh. Oh, it's not. Hang on. Let me connect to Bluetooth. This can be our intro. Brian and I went to a concert together with some other friends and peoples this weekend. Thumposaurus, as he said, is the name of the band. They had a backdrop. You explained the backdrop while I...
They had a projector screen that was really interesting because like they had the lyrics for like every song being projected with some wild visuals.
I think that was really helpful, actually.
It was great, wasn't it? The like visuals guy was like doing sign language occasionally too, and I was like, "Oh, this is a whole new level."
I didn't notice that. I glanced back at him a couple of times, just rocking out on the laptop back there.
Just before the show opened up, they had this like 3D model of a T-Rex just kind of like spinning, and then it would kind of like on the back end of the T-Rex, it would kind of like zoom in on its like.
Listener, you know how when you see the dino grundle, when you see like an animated dinosaur, like even like a National Geographic dinosaur or whatever, it's like there's just like a lump where the nuts are, you know? There's not real genitals.
I don't know if they know what's going to go there, so they just put this like kind of Ken doll lump there.
Lump.
Anyway, so this thing was just like spinning, and they had kind of like a test bar pattern in the foreground-ish. It was kind of like, transparent. But this thing was just spinning, and then James, out of nowhere, as this thing turns around and kind of comes
it gets closer to the camera as the lump comes towards screen. So I was treating it like a roller coaster or something.
And so James just like standing next to me, he just goes, "Whoa!" And then I saw what he was doing, so I joined in on like the next one or the one after. And then like we just kind of kept at it till our friends around us were a little uncomfortable. But then we stopped.
Yeah, you stopped because you were like, nobody else is doing this. Oh, well. And then we just heard like half the entire concert room just go, whoa! And you dropped to the floor with how happy you were about that.
It was like
I've never
the
been so proud in my life. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was great. Yeah, I saw it. Brian showed me that Thumposaurus, the band, had like posted on their Instagram story a video of that happening. So you can at least hear part of it happening, listener. It was so cool. It was the best thing we've ever done. So anyway, here's a podcast.
I may have ripped that video from their story because I wanted that.
Yeah, I
maybe we could post somewhere.
I'll tag them in it too, so they can listen to this podcast episode.
There you go.
Hi, guys. Hi, Thumposaurus, listening to this episode of the podcast.
They're listeners.
They're all Dylan Pollock, really, and they know what that means.
Yeah, because they're listeners.
Yeah, duh. This episode 107 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel, and I'm here to show my good buddy Brian I stare at him, just waiting for when he's going to do it. The entire DC animated universe.
And I'm Brian.
There he is. Start to finish for the very first time. He hasn't seen any of this shit. Well, now he's seen hundreds of episodes.
Also, listener, if you're wondering why this whole exhausted us sounding thing, it's earlier than we normally record because we got a famous.
We have a famous guest.
Yes, thank you. You may know him as Rob Alexson. But that's not his name, so you're just going to have to wait to see who
Why
it is.
would you know him as that? If you do, rethink your entire life.
You're a big fan of spoonerisms.
Oh, yeah, that too.
You only think of people's names in spoonerisms.
That's why I have my friend Man Bryely Brian
that's not-
Ely. Man Briley. Where does the N go? Does the N stay both times? I guess there's two different N's. At the time of this recording, Superman the Animated
9:11
Series...
a.m.
Oh, no. Is streaming on Max.
My dog.
Oh, no. And available on DVD and Blu-ray.
Those are the digital medium that you can watch video on if you have a player for them.
That's not your other dog?
What, you mean Rose?
Yeah.
No.
And if you'd like to follow along, you can head over to bit.ly/watchdcau. Link is in the show notes. Today we are watching Action Figures, Superman the Animated Series episode.
Wahoo!
Your prediction very quickly last time was this was going to be somebody turning people into action figures, and I said nope, and we left. Do you want to take another crack at it, or is that what you're still sticking with?
It's action figures turning into people.
Oh, man, you were so close. Yeah. This aired Saturday, September 20th, 1997 at 9:30 a.m. on Kids WB. Immediately after last episode, Sins of the Father, in the Batman Superman Adventures programming block, the new Batman Superman. You got to remember it's new. It's 1997. This is a new thing.
Tanubsa.
Tanubsa. This is the 22nd episode to air and the 16th produced, right before Blast from the Past Part 2.
Wow.
This was written by Hilary J. Bader, who previously wrote A Little Piece of Home, My Girl, and Target. Directed by Kenji Hachizaki, who previously directed The Way of All Flesh.
Nice.
Music is by Lolita Ritmanis, your favorite.
That's
your favorite one. Your boy. Previously composed, my dog. Previously composed 7 episodes of BTAS, as well as Lasak Part 1, The Way of All Flesh, My Girl, and Target. And animation is by TMS, Tokyo Movie Shinsha, which is nice because we've had a lot of Cocos in a row. Previously animated 7 episodes of BTAS and the Sega CD cutscenes, as well as Fun and Games, Little Piece of Home, Way of All Flesh, My Girl, Two's a Crowd, Promethean, and Speed Demons. What are you drinking, Brian?
Water.
Hell yeah.
I had my tea on the drive home, so I'm drinking water.
Wait, did you stay the night somewhere else? Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, in a parking garage.
Oh, hell yeah. Remember when we parked for the concert where there was all that sand on the ground because there was a gas spill?
Oh, man. Yeah, and it gave us asbestos vibes.
Asbestos vibes.
Which is another story.
Yeah, we spent the whole weekend scraping asbestos off of a ceiling. Anyway, you can head over to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. We'll also do a push-up for every $1, so send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. Today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from Vitz,
my dog,
who bought 5 Yoppie Vevs.
Vebs?
Yeah, Boppy Yevs.
Boppy Vebs.
He says, enjoy some Seattle's best coffee on me, which is anything but Seattle's best and Starbucks. Maybe we can do seconds in planks instead of push-ups. How are we supposed to do that? Are you going to shout?
5 seconds just in a plank?
No. It's 25 seconds.
Oh, 25 seconds. Sure.
Yeah.
Here, I'll set a timer. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess you got to scream at me when it's done because I won't be able to know.
Oh, I'll definitely scream at you.
Okay. We thank you, Vitz, for this honor.
I can hear Jamie
an ab workout, an arm, forearm. I don't know what it's shoulders. This is better. We should do this more often.
Man, planks are so easy.
Thank you, Vitz.
That was too fast. Jamie!
Huh?
Just stop your ab workout.
That felt like nothing, man.
I know. We should double that. We should just do a straight minute.
Yeah, if Vitz can donate $50 next time, it'd be wonderful.
Thank you for dispersing our health, though, Vitz. That's great.
Yeah, as someone whose arms are heavy mom spaghetti from the weekend, that was a nice change of pace, so I appreciate that. It was actually really good timing for that one.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Okay, we're going to watch the episode. We'll come back with Robbie, Alex, Bob, whatever you said.
Was he wearing a costume? A cape? Did he say or do anything unusual?
He pulled me out of a burning truck. I'd call that unusual. And he didn't say nothing. He just ran off with a couple of kids. Hey, I'm not making this up. I tell you, they were kids.
I've started to remember everything. You see, I'm from another planet.
I knew it!
Yes, I came here to deliver an important message to the leaders of your world. But there are bad people who want to stop me. I'll need a disguise to get off the island safely. The fate of the whole galaxy is at stake.
You can count on us, Steelman.
I listed our one British listener. That wasn't you. And then you called me out on it.
And your response was, I knew I'd get you to come out of hiding somehow.
Yep.
It was very good. It was very good.
You're always just sitting in a chair in the back of the room, Batman style, just watching the pot, your arms crossed. Yeah.
So many times I was going to write in, but I didn't. And then that British listener shit pushed me over the edge. I was like, nope, not having that.
Tell me I don't exist. Yeah. We got Alex here from the Batman the Animated Series podcast. We always have the guests tell us what happens in the episode, but first I got to play the little song, okay?
Sing up, if you're wondering.
Yeah, so you guys do the dance. He does a dance too.
You can't not.
Sing up. Take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
Ding!
Ding!
Perfect.
You got it. So what happened in Action Figures, Alex? Tell us now.
I watched this episode last week because somebody
A
was
week
supposed
ago.
to do this last week, and
No!
there was an ice
What?
storm.
Huh? No, what? Are you so huh? I can't hear you.
Oh, Jamie, no.
I forgot we have that thing.
I didn't.
Oh no! Okay, action figures. There's an island, and there's kids on the island, and there's no parents around for some stupid reason. And then a giant metal man comes out of the sea, and apparently he's like a good guy, and he wants to be friends with them. So they like hold hands and go for a skip and a jump. And then turns out some stuff happens, and he saves a guy that looks like Cheech and Chong from falling over the edge of the cliff. So,
Cheech and Chong combined, yeah.
He was the only other adult on the island, and yeah, then it goes to the Daily Planet, and Lois gets involved, and so does Superman, Metal Man. They arrive on the island. Suddenly, it is Metallo in like the worst disguise ever. Which, just like last time, guys, we have a trench coat and a hat as a poorly made disguise, and after that, they have a big fight. Superman wears his kryptonite condom suit, thinking it's going to protect him, but it never fucking works out for him in the end.
He always gets
ends
holes
up
in
getting
it.
ripped. Yep. And Metallo,
He's just too big for it.
Swole.
That's what the S is for, I think. Yeah.
Oh man, what happens?
On
They
my
fight.
planet, it means swole.
They fight, and there's a lava river, and he loses his heart. So Metallo goes in after his heart, and then everything's fine. And the end of the episode is him frozen in carbonite, trying to remember who he is.
Yeah. He gets shipped off to Jabba's palace where he can be smushed together.
He's just laying there, frozen in the lava, just being like, "Okay, now don't forget this time.
Yeah.
You forgot last time. You just got to keep your mind focused."
I'm Han Solo. Don't forget.
Captain
What
of the
was Han
Millennium
Solo?
Falcon.
Yeah. What was he doing in there the whole time? He was apparently alive inside the carbonite.
That's the thing. Is like the dude's like as strong as Superman, but like now he's in some rock, so he can't move.
He lost
What?
his heart, Brian. He shut down.
Did he? His eyes still
Yeah.
blinking. Like
Well,
obviously,
you know.
he like ran after his heart for a solid 2 minutes. Like it's not the
He
source
was
of all his
shutting
power.
down. I don't know, Brian. Shut up. I like the part where you,
This is supposed to be him watching it. For the first time. Like, shut up.
Brian, you're wrong. Your initial reaction is wrong. You did have a problem with like, oh, Superman can throw a tree, or Metallo can throw a tree at Superman, but Superman, and it hurts him, but then Superman can get his head dunked in lava and he's fine.
He got a lava swirly and was just no singe marks, nothing. He was fine.
The lava didn't have
heat,
perpetual motion or whatever. It didn't have momentum. The tree had momentum. You see,
is this part of Superman's powers that we're going to discuss later?
I guess so. Yeah,
vulnerabilities. Tree.
The official synopsis. An amnesiac. Okay, I'm going to read this verbatim.
Okay.
An amnesiac Metallo surfaces on a volcanic island, and in his conclusion, apostrophe, becomes a superhero to a pair of young children. But his true nature returns as both Lois and Superman arrive to investigate, and the volcano begins to erupt. I don't know why they're... And in his conclusion, apostrophe, becomes a superhero.
I'm a little confused.
In his conclusion is an interesting way to phrase that. He has so many times where they're standing there being like, where'd you come from? What's your name? And he just like, I don't... And then he thinks of shots from The Way of All Flesh, and then he goes, well, that must mean nothing, and then continues. But then when the little girl hands him a popsicle stick Superman, he's like, wait, I remember now. This is doing it for me for some reason.
S is for Swole.
Yeah. I just specifically remember him saying that. He picked me up, he said the S stands for Swole, and then he threw me in the ocean. He's my mortal enemy.
I remember sinking to the bottom of the sea, and all of my skin fell off, but I have no idea who I am or where I came from. Except for that fight with Superman on a boat and all the other fights with Superman. If only someone could say the word Superman, I might remember something about my past life.
If only someone could give me a popsicle stick doll.
He's just like, he looks down in his hand at this like popsicle stick and Play-Doh. He's just like, Play-Doh? I hate Superman.
I hate Play-Doh. Forgot. Well, why was he like... We saw him at the end of his last episode, just like creepily Pirates of the Caribbean walking on the floor of the ocean. And then
he forgot.
He's still walking when he shows up on the volcano island.
Yeah.
So at some point he was just autopilot walking and his memory disappeared and he went, why was I walking? Oh, well, I better keep doing it.
It's Finding Nemo. It's the same character from Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Who are you?
Yeah, all right. He's just Ellen DeGeneres is all that I didn't think about.
Superman!
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way Sydney. That's all he says when he shows up.
My thought is that like if he's so heavily focused on just like walking through the ocean, by the time he got onto shore, he probably should have been freaking out. He's just like, keep walking, just keep... Whoa!
Yeah.
Where'd the water go?
This isn't water anymore. Yeah.
Well, the whole memory thing, it doesn't make sense why he lost his memory. And when he arrived on the island and didn't remember, I was expecting like Boss Biggest to come out of nowhere, and it's another forgotten episode, right? Like the harmonica.
Gotta get him for my labor camp. Yeah. He can put him in the hot box for forever, and it wouldn't do anything.
That lava cooks that meat real good.
He's got rock candy in his chest.
I'm really glad we're kind of all on the same page, because I was a little like, it was strange that he like shows up with not insomnia. I'm just not been sleeping. So that's the only word.
That's what you have.
Amnesia.
Brian, Superman.
That's what I have.
Hold on, I got to go for a walk.
Look, I'm the one with amnesia because we're doing a Mr. McYespolik video, and Ted was like, "Oh, make sure you read this comic because Paul Dini said it was an inspiration for blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay," and I read it, took some notes, and I said, "How do you know that? Was that an interview with Paul Dini or something?" And then he just sends a screenshot where like 4 months ago I asked Paul Dini on Twitter about something, and that's what he told me. And he's like, yeah, he told you.
Jamie.
And I just went, oh, there's just too much. I just can't do this anymore.
He's hit the limit, folks.
It happened with Mr. Big's Yes, but like it makes sense, yeah.
What's a watchtower?
Justice Guild? Brian, what were you saying about
I don't know. I've got insomnia. I can't remember my name.
Oh, I know what I meant to say. The truck driver didn't look like Cheech Chung. He looked like Ron Jeremy. That's who I thought he looked like.
There you go. Yeah.
That's where he's not in prison. He's on that island by himself.
Yeah. What? Yeah. You. Brian, I think you said, like, what was he even doing? Because he was, like, driving toward the island from the edge of the island when he crashed. Like, he was already partially off the edge.
We don't see a single road.
No.
We see a camp. We see a couple of like jeeps driving on like dirt sections of island.
It was like 2 or 3 scientists and those kids. And
Homeboy's got like 10,000 gallons of like petroleum.
Yeah.
Where did he come? Did he wash ashore like that? Was he dropped from an airplane?
That's how everyone arrives.
Get there?
I don't remember who I am. What's going on?
He's just driving through the ocean. 1 year later. Oh, where?
Can't
sir,
forget.
Are you okay? Sir, are you okay? And then he just has flashbacks to Superman throwing him in the ocean with his truck and everything. He's been driving on the bottom of the ocean.
The dad doesn't even know what he's doing. The dad's just like, all right, kids, go play by the active volcano. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Why are the kids there at all?
I know.
Why did he bring them?
Can we just say that like this is the island of like there must be some like amnesia thing or something happening. People are so inept on this island.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the thing that
Lois
pissed me
Lane.
off the most. Lois is there. Superman's fighting Metallo, and he's like, Lois, get these fucking kids off the island. And she's like, yeah, okay. And then they just stand there until the end of the episode. There's rivers of lava. There's bad guys fighting, and she's just like, kids, don't move at all. It's what Superman told us to do.
They're standing there watching Metallo and Superman fight, and then the lava's like a foot above them, and she's like, oh yeah, we better go. Whoops. And then they move like 5 feet over and then keep watching them. Superman, what? You need some help. Like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you still here?
Don't
what was
move.
The evacuation plan for the island even? Like, I guess they were on a big boat at the end, but we never saw that. They just kept saying, we got to make sure we evacuate. And I kept thinking the whole episode, like, what does that mean? Do you get in the ocean and swim away? Everyone needs to get to the bottom of the ocean and just start walking. You know? Get out of here. It's the only way to get here or leave.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Lane. You're in one.
Brian, this weekend, I helped him scrape asbestos popcorn ceiling off of his ceiling at his new house.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah. And,
I thought, I was like, are you guys like taking care of a dead body together? Like, what is this?
Well,
Jamie showed up the night.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, I actually forget exactly what he said.
No,
Something along
this is what reminded me is what Alex said, because you open the door, the whole house is covered in plastic.
It was something like, I hope you like Dexter or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He said, I hope you like Dexter. And then I just said, you're in one. It was just every surface was covered in a plastic sheet.
Classic Dexter line every time he kills someone. I hope you like Dexter. You're in one.
You're in one.
I hope you like the television program Dexter, he says. And then he walks out into the moonlight and turns into a skeleton. Spooky man.
Greatest crossover ever. Dexter of the Caribbean.
I mean, like, there's so many weird things about this episode. Like, overall, I didn't think it was a terrible episode, but
No.
definitely not the best Superman one. Like, Superman says to Professor Hamilton, like, I'm going on a little trip. And I was expecting him to like be handed like a Hawaiian shirt and like Birkenstocks, because it's like you're going to a tropical island and it's like, I don't know, Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian or something. Like, I was like, what are we doing here?
Where did he keep the suit also in the meantime? Because he shows up in his normal costume.
You're
but
right.
When he goes to fight Metallo, then he's wearing it. So like he just like put it behind a bush somewhere for a while.
Can you imagine Superman flying to this island while carrying his suit? It'll be kind of like Titanic style. He's holding it in front of him. I'm flying,
just flapping
Superman!
awkwardly in the wind the whole time. Also, like, I always, whenever he shows up wearing that, you can expect that the bad guy's going to somehow
Puncture
open
the
up
suit.
part of it.
That's the thing.
And
It's so pointless. It never works. You'd think he'd learn by now.
it's there. It's there for like 3 seconds. But in this one, it was written a little strangely because he throws the tree at him, and the spiky tree roots like rip a hole in the chest, and they're like, "Oh no, he's exposed!" And then Metallo runs up and punches the helmet off immediately after that, and like, "Oh no, he's exposed
Again."
He already was. You didn't need to do that, or you only needed to do that. I don't know. Do one of the two.
Like, is it made out of plastic? Like, what the fuck is it made out of? It's cheap.
It's anti-kryptonite, obviously.
It's made out of opposite of kryptonite.
Like Superman plays whack-a-mole with the volcano debris as well, and like then he plays.
Oh my god!
And then he plays Pac-Man with the lava river with the boulder. Like you see it almost like a Pac-Man shot, and I was like, "What's happening here?" Yeah,
he was on vacation at the arcade before he showed up. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about his lack of efficiency with that boulder?
Well, this is the ineptitude of the island.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna punch these boulders out of the way. Meanwhile, the camera pans down to the camp where everything is getting destroyed by rocks. It's like, Superman, do something about the other rocks. What are you doing up there?
It's like 3 big rocks are coming down, and he's like, I know what to do. I'll punch these into 50 smaller rocks. And it immediately cuts to a shot of all the scientists going, shit, it's raining rocks, fuck. And it's like, this wouldn't be happening if Superman wasn't doing
and
that.
the funniest thing is, after he like does all of that, he flies back, and the scientists are like, we're getting out of here. And he's like, you're evacuating? It's like, yes, there's a fucking volcano erupting. Of course they're evacuating, Superman. What are you thinking?
Dude, is that a that's not how that works, Brian? Do volcanoes, to your knowledge, go bleh, and then go, I'll do the rest later? Or do they just do it all at once?
So I did watch a documentary on the Mount St. Helens eruption, which was pretty well documented. So it was a well-documented documentary. They have warning signs, and they will like kind of like steam or whatever. And I think some of them might have a little like discharge. But
a little pre-lava.
The S stands for Swole.
Kids, I've warned you about when the volcano gets a little excited. We need to turn on the alarm and get out of here.
It was a rather phallic volcano, wasn't it? Like a lot of a little more mounded, but this one was just a nice straight shaft.
A nice a science fair volcano.
Yeah.
That makes everyone lose their memory. It's like it's basically Roofie Island, right? Like that's what it is.
I can't make that the subtitle, man.
Superman goes to Roofie Island.
Superman on Roofie Island. That's why Lois was peeking out from behind the bush. She wasn't quite aware of what's going on.
Oh my god!
Look, that was an actually sort of like frightening Metallo moment. Was Lois Lane just peeking out behind the bush, and then he just starts sprinting at her.
Yeah.
Like if I was
She's
her,
like,
like, holy shit! Oh my god!
Yeah, but he looks like Inspector Gadget in that outfit.
Sure,
Go, Gadget, kryptonite hot.
He leaps over the top of the camera, and I was like, I saw up his skirt, Brian. They weren't very clever about that shot.
And also, like, he says to Lois, like, if I still had my lips, I'd kiss you. But that's the whole reason he went crazy in the first place.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't feel the kiss, so...
and his lips were made of Metallo anyway when he did that before. So, yeah.
I guess he's forgotten, so yeah.
I'd kiss you if I remembered what kissing is. Something tells me Superman gave me many of those before I stopped.
Every flashback just involves Superman, like, kissing, cooking, like...
I do like the idea that all of Metallo's memories are just slightly messed up, and every time wait, Superman? And then it cuts to Superman just, I fucking hate that guy. I forgot. He kept kissing me without my consent.
It's just, it's a weird episode. Like, I don't know. Like the whole kryptonite outfit thing, as we said, it's always pointless, and it's like made of plastic sheeting or whatever. But
paper, yeah,
paper, yeah. But the thing is like he also looks like such a fucking nerd in that outfit. Like,
I do like the little kid cooler. Even says like, it's Superman, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, right?
I think Lois got the ick. She's like, oh yeah, it is Superman.
Yeah. It's ruined for me now.
Well, it's also the point that, like, I mean, how effective / necessary is it if Superman, while being dunked in lava head first for a little bit, can then just go, grab kryptonite, throw kryptonite, the end. Like, just do that from the start, man. Fly in faster than a speeding bullet, grab his heart, and throw it.
I felt that too. Like, the whole... the way he interacted with the kryptonite, because he's being dunked in lava, and I'm like, what is the kryptonite actually doing to you? If it's because it's supposed to weaken his skin, right, and like his energy and take his strength away.
It makes him normal. It makes him man. It turns him into man.
Right, and if a man is dunked in lava, they are not a man anymore. They're just.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, yeah. When Brian was having his issues with tree v lava, I was thinking that with like. Yeah, he's just supposed to be like depowered at this point, and he's oh, I'm so weak. Yeah, and he should just be fuck, and like melting in the lava and skin coming off and stuff.
He's not even struggling though. He's just kind of like, stop doing this to me.
This is an inconvenience. Yeah, I can't see quite 100%. Yeah. Well, and with the suit also like this weekend doing all the asbestos stuff, like we had like airtight seals on our like gas mask mouth things and our goggles over our eyes, or at least as airtight as we could get it. And then we were like zipped up inside a suit and everything. And it just seems like with Superman, you could just come lightly lift off his helmet if you wanted to. Like there's nothing like keeping it on the suit. He's just like, and now I zipped up my jacket, and then I put like a balaclava over my head, and I'm ready to go. Kryptonite can't hurt me now. Like, what?
It's a big square helmet. It looks so goofy. Yeah. Like, imagine seeing him flying and be like, who the fuck is that?
Well, I did see him flying, and he looked stupid without the cape. He was just like kind of like over there.
He looks like a man in a wetsuit with a mop bucket on his head flying through the sky.
Yeah, he's like a Quail Man type of, like a man trying to dress as a superhero. But just like whatever household objects he can find.
Yeah, you guys look cooler than Superman in your outfits.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if he swallowed some of the lava. Is that his version of heartburn? If he managed to get some of this mouth?
Yeah, man.
Because that's the only thing lava seems to do to him, because it doesn't do anything else to him.
Well, I mean, it's so, I don't know. That bit was way beyond my comprehension.
Well, we're kind of stuck on the like that's not how that works isms of all this stuff.
Yeah.
With this, and it's hard not to, but I did like the kind of like next chapter in Metallo's story or whatever. Like if I was trying to figure out like where do I go from here with the walking on the bottom of the ocean thing last time. This is a pretty good follow-up, I think, in terms of like you spend the first half of the episode with what's going to happen? Is he going to remember who he is, or is he going to like maybe he's going to be a good guy now, or like what's going on? And then predictably, mostly he remembers, and he's even holding the thing. As soon as she puts it in his hand, you were like, "Don't break the toy." And then he remembers and then crushes it, and you're like, "Oh man, like, come on!"
That was a collectible, dude.
Yeah, that's one of a kind.
One of one.
Yeah, but and I don't know. I like Metallo's character, how he's like obviously a really terrible person, but you still have some sort of like pity for him that he's just like against his will pretty much because he got poisoned and then his brain stuck inside a robot and all this stuff. And even at the end when he's just like, I must remember, like he's just sitting there, like you feel a little bit sad for him. And also like it is because you pointed out, Brian, that this happens every Superman episode is you always see a shot of the bad guy going, oh, but next time I'll do this. I'll be back next time. And you were like, just, okay, come on, show him. He's in the lava. Come on. And then they did. But it was a pretty like effective, like, everything else fades to black. His eyes still blinking. That was cool and whatever.
Yeah.
But
I know, and I think it's kind of a trope, like with Batman, like usually the bad guys got arrested, and it was like, oh well, how are they going to break out of Arkham next time?
Yeah,
like I know you got to keep that story going that way, but
I just like that there's continuity. I guess that like, oh yeah, last time he was doing that, and so we're going to pick up right from that instead of like. Yeah, Joker fell in the water. Oh well, we'll see him later, and then he's doing something completely unrelated next time or whatever. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, that is it. It's better. It's better world building for sure.
Yeah,
yeah. I thought I really like his theme music as well. That it's kind of it's like Bernard Herrmann type vibes, like Psycho especially, and also it's a bit Jaws as well, like the repetitive two notes that, especially when he was coming up out of the sea. It was quite Jaws.
When he was Clayface, yeah.
When he was Clayface.
Brian was like, oh, there he is. He's back. Clayface. I'm like,
Clayface.
Yeah. I must remember.
And we just see shots of Superman kissing Clayface.
That was what Clayface was doing the whole time, was just walking on the bottom of the ocean.
Obviously. My man.
It just ends up on the island, doesn't remember who he is. That's how it goes.
Saves Ron Jeremy from a car crash,
I thought that also, it's quite Terminator 2, especially the ending. Like, it's a robot that was evil in the first one, and then you suddenly feel bad for in the second one. I know, obviously, Arnie stays good throughout Terminator 2, but it's still a similar vibe. And even down to the lava at the end, I was half expecting him to, like...
Metallo's thumbs up was sinking in the...
That's how it should have ended.
Thanks, Superman.
Always remember.
Well, I was definitely getting those vibes when he shows up and they're like just kind of looking at him, asking him questions, and he hasn't like said anything yet. And I was just thinking of that scene of Arnold like trying to smile awkwardly in in Terminator 2, because he's just standing there with this big skeleton and robot teeth, like I don't remember shit.
Really angry eyebrows and just the big mouth.
Yeah. Which I think like TMS animation on this was really cool in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
You said that their fighting was sort of Gumby like when Lois is standing there with the children in near death experience, but I like when it's a little more like floppy like that, I guess, versus like kind of stiff when Dong Yang animates fight scenes comparatively. The shot of Metallo screaming as the like wave of lava is coming at him was really cool. It was like his mouth opened like even wider than you would expect that it could or whatever.
Go gadget
Superman
mouth
was really swole.
He's got to drink all that lava.
This is my only way out. Remember, you love the taste of lava. Just remember.
It gives you heartburn, but you need it.
But yeah, I don't know. There's some shots that TMS just does, like even just Angela Chen sitting at news desk was like better animated than Dong Yang would do, and they don't do anything wrong with it. It's just hard to describe for some reason. Like I'll just see like Professor Hamilton tic-tacking away at his keyboard when Superman shows up. It like looked cool. It looked like an anime. Like whenever they do the episodes, they're a lot more anime inspired. Like even like Metallo jumping off the side of the cliff and then like skateboarding down. You were like, this is very anime.
What was that
jump.
that like kind of time skewing like jump, and he like kind of hangs and then like falls faster than maybe he should have. Like
I watched this and then I for my podcast watched Mad as a Hatter, which is an ACOM episode.
Oh my God.
So it was quite jarring to go from that to a Mad Hatter episode. That was a big difference.
This is something that I'm actually kind of interested in, because in my brain I've been kind of processing this in a weird like obsessive way that like I wonder if I appreciated the good episode art. The good art. Oh God. You guys, I can talk today. This is fine.
Let's rewind.
Remember
how to speak. You know how to speak.
S is for Swole. Jumping back and forth between like really good looking Batman episodes and really bad looking Batman episodes gave me a greater appreciation for the good ones, of course, and a better laugh at the bad ones, much like you just experienced. But in Superman like, it's so solid that like you really have to like get into the subtleties of like, oh, in the background their fighting looks like this. Oh, the like time manipulation looks like this. Oh, the explosions and lava and whatever look like this. Because everything else is just so solid, and I feel like that kind of like I don't know, it takes away that surprise that we had in Batman of like, what
it's
the
an
fuck ACOM one. Where's it gonna be? Where's gonna be the Bat-Im? Oh, there it is. Batman's got 6 heads. You know,
it's a crapshoot. It's fun. I enjoy that aspect of it. Yeah, but it is nice to have solid animation consistently, because then you feel like you're constantly going to the same world and not like, why the fuck does the Joker's face look like that when it looked great in the last episode, and suddenly he looks like someone's punched his nose in.
Batman goes from 1 to 17 triceps in this episode. Well, I agree, because like there was the scene of when Metallo remembers who he is, and then he's like making up the fake like alien story for the kids. They're in the cave, and the first shot's like pretty wide, like far away, and his mouth is just as he's talking, like it's opening so wide and immediately closing. Because if you're watching it on a 11-inch Betamax broadcast, then it's just like, oh yeah, I got to see that his mouth is moving and it doesn't look weird. But you're watching it on these Blu-rays, and we're just like, oh, that looks silly. But comparatively,
that's a really good point too.
How many episodes are you into this and now he's getting it? It's from the 90s, Brian.
What?
You were alive for all of them.
Nobody was alive back then. Come on. No, but I was thinking even with like so far gone, man. Let me tell you, I'm at least 100 now. Oh my God, what was that you were saying, Jamie? Somebody on Watchtower made a comment about...
Oh yeah, someone that I haven't seen. If you're listening to this and you know it's you, someone I hadn't seen in the comments before, which made me happy. Like, oh, other people do listen to this. Had commented on a Watchtower video, being like, because I had made a joke about I'm a 9-year-old with a 75-year-old's back, and they had commented like, oh, I completely feel that back comment, but at least your back is younger than Brother Broderick or something like that. And I was like, oh, cool. I don't know who this is. That's neat.
But you're not only a listener, but you get making fun of Brian also.
Yes.
It's a universal trick. Yeah.
Even I do it.
I understand.
But the thing I didn't think about, and actually like, yeah, I understand that screens were small or whatever. You have to like exaggerate things, but also CRT TVs, which is what you pretty much, except for like DLP projection TVs or whatever, like a CRT monitor has a bit of that like blurring.
Yeah.
You know, like not just like resolution, but like frame to frame has a little bit of a lag. It's not that digital. Like,
well, and it would have been interlaced also. Yeah. So there's a little bit of
this episode was great, huh?
I know what you're talking about for sure. Yeah.
All right, we'll peel back those layers.
James, nice
you know.
British accent, by the way, James. Nice attempt there. Very good.
All I know is Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. Let's talk about the cast of this episode.
Oh yes,
because there's a couple that I think you'll think are fun, Brian.
Ron Jeremy as truck driver.
Yeah, Ron. Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent. Oh, Lois. From the Daily Planet. I know. Yeah.
You ever been to Roofy Island?
No. Ron Jeremy on Roofy Island. No. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane. Malcolm McDowell as Metallo. George Zunza as Perry White, and Ron Jeremy. There was when he spoke, you were like, great voice acting, bud. You said, Brian, as he was talking, because it was just clearly like George Zunza going like, oh, my voice is Perry White, so I got to not sound like Perry White. And I don't know. I was driving my truck, and I don't know what happened. And you're like, good job, buddy. David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, who I think said like one line in this. Lauren Tom as Angela Chen. And then we have Ernie Hudson as Professor Felix.
What?
Who is
from
Winston Zedmore in Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's also in The Crow, if you remember.
He is
like Sergeant something.
Yeah,
something.
yeah. He's the main good cop guy,
police guy. Yeah. This is his only DCAU acting credit, but he's also uncredited as Ron Troop in this episode, one of the other Daily Planet guys that was talking to Lois and Jimmy.
Okay,
in one scene. But yeah, it's just like, okay, Ernie Hudson's in this episode, I guess, and he's like did he? I don't know the story, so I just want to know, like, did he want to be on the show? And they're like, well, we've got like scientist man, or did they purposely cast him? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you want to be a bad dad on an island where he doesn't really care about it?
Island? Yeah. What did you say it was called? I mean, there's a volcano.
Kids, don't forget, if you hear the alarm, do something. I think I can't remember.
I did like you mentioned that, like, oh, my kids are probably lost in the woods somewhere, and then Superman casually walks over to the picnic table and looks at crayon drawings. Like, this is a good use of my time.
There's an exploding volcano. I should do something about. Oh, look, there's some crayon art.
You don't see that very
He had
often.
no concern for human life on this island.
No.
Like that was everyone forgets, but Superman forgets about human condition, like, and how vulnerable they
punch
are.
the rocks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was thinking that too when he says, like, he notices like all the lava is coming raining down at 1,000,000 miles an hour because it's the fastest lava imaginable. And then he's like, we need to get these kids out of here. And I thought, okay, so he's going to pick up the kids and Lois and fly away. Because Metallo can't fly, so they're the end. But then instead he points to Lois and says, "Go!" And I'm like, why is she in charge of this?
And as you said,
3 more minutes of the episode, but come on.
The fact that they stand there the whole time, what is it? It's like, is the lava a T-Rex? Is the vision's based on movement?
Yeah.
Like, why are you standing there?
Whoa!
Lava won't.
That's a joke you'll get later, Alex.
Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't here for the.
Oh, okay.
You listen to the intro of this episode.
Oh, I see. Future me is going to be laughing. Ha ha.
Yes.
Ha.
There it is.
That's pretty much always the case, you know?
That's exactly how I laugh.
I know. You laugh like 20 people laughing.
Man, I really like Alex, but he's got a weird laugh. It kind of sounds like a group of people laughing. It's hard to explain.
I'll just put that in every time Alex has laughed so far. You could just gaslight the listener.
I end up on the island and I don't know who I am, and I hear that laughter and I'm like, remember.
You laugh like 20 people. Let me finish the cast real quick.
Oh, right.
Hassan Nicholas as Bobby Felix. He's only ever acted in 6 other things. He was a child, including 1 episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but I didn't write down what the character was because who cares? And Lauren Robinson as Sarita Felix, who I thought was named Serena for like half the episode until someone pronounced the T hard enough, and I went, oh, I guess what?
My brain washed over that. I was just like, Serena, cool, got it.
Yeah. She's only ever acted in 14 other things, including 1 episode of The Steve Harvey Show, 1 episode of Sister Sister, and she was Nadine in...
Oh, hell yeah.
I had to get to the part where they said the name of the show.
Nadine's excellent.
Are you sure it's not Natine? Are you sure you're pronouncing it right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, that's the cast. I have tiny trips.
Okay. Give us some tiny trips.
The gas truck explosion features reused footage from My Girl, specifically the scene in which Mr. Elon blows a vat of hot lead off its support. In Angela Chen's presentation of the last known recording of Metallo, he's seen wrecking a car with his trademark look of torn skin and clothes. This is not any moment seen in The Way of All Flesh, so it presumably took place off-screen shortly after he had confronted the doctor about his surgery.
Oh, so
that's the only time he wasn't around Superman.
That's the last time the public saw, like, it was like a news presentation or whatever.
Yeah,
so like the public
and then
at
he
large.
went to the yacht or whatever. Yeah.
I think he looks way cooler as a whole robot instead of like...
I think so too.
Instead of Wish.com Two-Face.
Yeah, there you go. We have Two-Face at home. Remember, you're Harvey. No. You are Harvey Dent. Like he comes back. No, I know exactly who I am. He probably heard about him.
He comes back. Oh, hey, Bruce. I'm gonna like run for city council or whatever.
We're best friends. Yeah. He's talking like Harvey.
Bruce Wayne's like, holy shit! It's the guy from Terminator.
There's a robot man. Yeah. Yeah, Angela Chen also says it's been exactly 1 year since the events of Way of All Flesh, which you went like, oh, when she said that, because it was like, oh, it's been a whole year since like 12 episodes ago or whatever.
Also, so I was thinking that like that must have been something that you've used before in Watchtower. Like, oh, it said 1 year. We got to put this somewhere.
Yeah, it's a pretty. Yeah, it's one of the like 5 really obvious timeline clues in Superman. Which is an unfortunately low amount, but
really,
it's there.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and Metallo was just walking on the sea floor the entire time.
Yeah.
That whole year?
Yeah. 3 pants later, he's still walking on the floor. Yeah. Keen effects.
Ooh.
Keen effects. I like the last shot of the episode with his eyeball blinking in the darkness.
I think there's actually some good keen effects in here.
Yeah.
The one that I'll say it's maybe less obvious was just the physics of gas or whatever truck explodes and the kids looking over the cliffside kind of get blasted with this wind. And it's like, that's a cool, because normally it's like, oh no, you like disguise from like, or you block disguise? Trench coat? You trench coat yourself from the explosion.
Remember, Brian!
Yes, you've done well. I wonder if that line when he says that is sarcastic. When they're like, here's these sunglasses, hat, and coat, and scarf. Is yes, you've done well. And I'm like, is he being a jackass? He's like, just like,
if I could roll my eyes,
no one will recognize me now. That's a robot. Fuck. A robot in a trench coat.
But like, just to have like the sort of real world impression of, if there's an explosion, like air moves, like air actively moves past that. And that was kind of I thought that was just really, it was keen.
Heat rise. Yeah.
It was keen. Alex, you got any keen effects?
I mean, I do like the last shot the most. That's the one that stands out, just him stuck there. I do think that's really eerie, the way it's just the lighting of it and him just stuck there and you just hear his narration. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Nothing
the
else.
lava looked good.
Yeah, the lava looked okay. It looked a bit SpaghettiO-ish, but it was it's all right.
Yeah. Well, I just watched.
That's why it didn't hurt Superman. It was just SpaghettiOs.
It was just hot SpaghettiOs. they microwaved it a little too long, and it blew off the top of the volcano. Well, I just watched some behind the scenes thing from Star Wars Episode 3 about how they made all the lava in the final fight and how most of it's practical and like lit from underneath and all this stuff. So I was like keeping an eye on like, oh, does that look like realistic lava or whatever in the episode? And they at least went. It wasn't just like red water. Like they at least had like it had some chunks. It had some highlights through it and all this stuff.
O's.
Like,
maybe some meatballs.
It had some noodle O's floating around.
The S stands for
some
Swole.
X's. It's just alphabet soup that's spelling out. It says Metallo, remember. Swirling around.
Someone's like, do you want some soup, man? He's like, Superman.
Soup man? Why does that ring a bell? Yeah.
Oh my God.
What did the girl call? She had the lunchbox full of food and she's like, what, we got some juicers or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Who calls it that? We got a juicer?
She like out of her little thing, she pulls out a full on like put on your countertop juicer. Slides a carrot through there.
We have like a crust of a sandwich, a piece of a cookie, and an entire juicer. So, do with this what you will. And he just eats the juicer like the Iron Giant. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
They make excellent margaritas on Roofie Island.
We got a cookie crust juicer margarita.
Wow.
Okay, Superman's powers.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, let's talk about this.
So, are we gonna? I don't know. How do we describe like non-weakness to lava? I don't really know. I don't.
Well, it's like his ability to get hurt by kryptonite when it's around, and then not get hurt by kryptonite when it's around. It's like it just changes depending on
it's an inconsistency. Yeah, a few episodes ago where he's just like, it's even slightly touching, like shining on me. I'm dead.
Yeah.
And then this one where he can be exposed except his forearms and just reach and grab it and throw it.
Yeah, like his
somewhere.
whole chest is exposed, right? And his helmet is off.
And
so
his
like
head and-
heart and brain are the two most important things there. And they're being affected by the kryptonite. And he still manages to like not even get a tan from the lava.
Oh my god, I like your tan. Where'd you get it from? SpaghettiOs.
Roofie Island. SpaghettiOs on Roofie Island. I'm not even going to pry any farther than that.
So my
And where is this island? Is it right outside Metropolis? Just like the desert in The Forgotten is outside Gotham?
Yeah.
It's the...
Right, yeah. They've got a volcanic island off the shore.
How big is the
Maryland.
island? Where did the plane land with Lois? Like,
oh yeah, how did Lois get there?
I don't know. Maybe it was by boat.
She walked across the ocean floor.
Of course,
To the
she
beach.
showed up. Remember, Daily Planet. I'm Lois Lane.
She even had a Daily Planet branded pen. Did you see that? I was
Oh
like,
yeah, a little globe on top.
That's how she
She's just-
remembered. She's
I like
like,
that.
just walking
my
across the floor,
keepsake.
staring at the pen.
Look, I already heard when you go to Roofie Island, you forget everything. So I got to bring some like reminders with me. So I like the scene where she just knocks on the door of the children's house and says like, "Hello, children, please talk to me, an adult you don't know." Can you tell me everything that's happening in your life right now? Like, what's going on? Want to come to my van and tell me more? And we're just like, don't do it, kids, or whatever. And then, but it's even better if she just knock, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's Pulitzer Prize winning Lois Lane from the Daily Planet. And she's like, oh yes, that's who I am. Sure. She suddenly remembered.
Yeah.
I hate the Daily Planet.
Daily Planet. I think I might be
Globe's
Superman.
always getting crushed and broken. Yeah. I think I might be Superman.
Jumps in the lava and just dies.
Oh boy. Anyway, so how are we defining this?
I don't know. What if his power is not like? What if his powers come from another place that was still covered by the suit?
Like his feet?
Yes, his feet. Let's go with feet.
Yes, the S stands for feet. It's got the hammer is my S.
Send us pictures of your feet.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Bat-feet. Yeah.
super feet though this time?
Super feet?
I don't know.
Okay, well we can call it super feet. As a new power, and it'll
Well,
be.
why don't you call it the S stands for feet? I mean, that's gotta be.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, how else would he be so?
On my planet, it means feet. He's just really horny all the time. Oh, it's not an S. Sorry. In my planet, it stands for send pictures of your feet. All right. The S stands for feet. I'm going to define that as his powers must come from somewhere that wasn't covered by the suits.
There's just no elegant way to say this.
What the fuck is this called? Action figures. That was a weird name for the episode too, I guess. Because he's playing with action figures at the start. Go find your own action figure,
But
and
they
then
were-
that's the justification
Yeah,
for calling
right.
it that. I guess.
They were the worst action figures I've ever seen. I was like, what's this cheap shit?
Ernie Hudson couldn't buy his kids actual brand name Transformers or whatever. He had
There's
to
no
go
toy
with
store
some-
on that island, so he's making it out of rock.
Popsicle sticks and Play-Doh.
Obviously, he got his action figures from Poundland.
I made this in the
That's for
blender.
you.
Okay, how strong Superman 1 through 10?
Oh my god, both
He punched rocks.
one and
both.
10.
1 and 10.
Yeah.
1 and 9.
Because he's grabbing boulders and like just cutting through the earth and flying in front of everything. And then he's like, oh no, I got hit by a bit of twee. And he gets flying back and his suit gets destroyed.
And then he's finding the lava.
And then he's just, Lava's fine. Yeah, he's all over the map.
I'll give him 4 trucks that are, I guess, stuck out of 10, because it was just showing like a spinning wheel, and you're like, why isn't it going? And then it finally shows it. Oh, because they can't. Okay,
right.
And Superman lifts it up out of there. Yeah.
I'm gonna, just because I'm frustrated, I'm gonna give him 1. Not opening the doors for strangers kids out of 10.
And I will give him 3 out of 10 disregard for human life.
Excellent choice, sir.
Disrobing of Metallo. De-skinification, I guess. When he's walking on the floor of the ocean and there's just a bunch of those little like bottom feeder fish just like sucking at all the rest of the skin that's left on him.
Oh God.
That's why he's like that. Yeah.
Checks out.
Whereas Clayface, he was Metallo coming out of the mud at the start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the mud on Metallo, like whatever you fancy.
Yeah, okay.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The balderarchy.
Metallo. Okay, and
yeah.
I mean, whether there wasn't any other antagonist in this episode, unless you count the lava volcano. Yeah, it's just Metallo again. So he's got 2 now.
All right.
Was this episode books or hip hop?
Hip hop for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was a little more rock for me. Wait, where is it? There we go. Anyway, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll go hip hop. It had a lot of action and lava and shit.
Yeah, I'll go
lava, hip hop.
I'll go hip hop because there was no educational purpose to the lava and to the volcano expert that is not a volcano expert. So yeah, hip hop.
Yeah. I think when the hot stuff comes out, we should probably leave.
To be fair,
were they like studying?
He might have been a
know.
volcano expert before he got to the island. We don't know.
That's
right.
true.
Yeah. Then he forgot everything. Yeah.
Who you gonna call? That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Does this go on the top 10 for you, Brian?
No.
Does it beat Identity Crisis or Feeding Time? These are the ones on the bottom of yours.
I don't think so.
No. I don't think mine is either. Alex, yeah, you have 1 on here so far at number 15.
I have to clear this up because I literally said that out of all the Batman the Animated Series episodes, The Lion and the Unicorn for me is at number 15, which is the craziest thing I've ever fucking said on a podcast. I was obviously like having a great time with you guys, and I was like, that was so much fun. And I watched the episode again, and I was like, no, 15? Are you fucking high? No.
Oh, you can't change it now.
Well, you know what? No. Let's be fair. We have shuffles. I think Alex did a shuffle
true. Yeah,
too.
you could change. You can change it if you want. But does one go above or below it?
Well, just like
action figures.
Just like the bottom feeders that were feeding on Metallo, this is going below it on the bottom.
Oh, okay, all right. What number? Give me a number.
As low as I can go. I'm learned my lesson from last time. I'm 16. Not going to be like, 16.
I'll give you a 43.
Okay.
I'm going to add a 1 in there somewhere, Alex, but you get to choose where the 1 goes. Before the 4, between the 4 and the 3, or after the 3. Where do you want that 1?
I didn't know I had to do math.
The 143, 413, and 431.
Welcome to it.
431 for this, and then whatever she said was the code in The Lion and the Unicorn, however many numbers and letters that was, is what I rate The Lion and the Unicorn.
Let's find out. Lion and the Unicorn, DCAU. I wonder if the wiki has it listed.
I love how I said that as a joke, but I knew James would actually have to look it up.
Yeah.
He's like, I must know.
Of course.
You got to be careful around this guy.
I'll change it. I'll change it before next time because I don't have time to figure this shit out. We're gonna go to the future and do the mail without Alex because I don't have enough time to do it now, and then we'll come back and tell Brian the name of the next episode. He has to guess what it's about.
Oh, okay. I'll do that then.
Hey, it's the mail. Yeah.
Is that how the song
This is a
goes?
song that I'm making up right now. Whoa, yeah. Hey, it's the mail. That's the whitest clap to this as possible. It's the mail, and we're gonna listen to it. Ba-da-doo-bop.
Wow.
This is a completely wrong button, but you know.
That yop. That one small extra yop.
Here's the mail.
What we drop? Our weekly yop. Oh yeah, those. Into the comment box. First, there sure was a lot. Now Jamie's mad. Too bad we're all. At least I am. Just Dylan Pollock.
The real song never gets old. I love that, Kimmy. Thank you still. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, you can send a punctuated email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com.
If you don't use punctuation, so help me God.
I know. Or leave a comment on today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. But please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian. I'm filtering everything anyway. He doesn't see any of it. It comes out of my mouth every time. But whatever, still don't do it so I don't have to think. I just read, you know?
We should do a Discord thing. That's like, how do we do a spoiler-free Discord?
I guess I could filter out any words that have to do with characters that haven't appeared yet. And I had to just constantly update the filters. That'd be way too much work. I'm not going to do that.
I'll check every day at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And then
you'll
have to go through
to like edit it. Yeah. Still more work for me. Still sounds really good.
Okay, what if we just do a Discord channel that's just you and me? And people can only react.
It's just you and I talking
It's just the
about
podcast again.
Yeah, it's just this. It's just transcribed. It's a great idea. There is a Discord, Watchtower Database Discord server, which I don't remember if I link it in the description of these or not. Look, yeah, I do. Yeah, Aaron thought that was funny too. I do link it there. There's a Jump on the Bat-Wagon channel in there to discuss episodes if you so wish. Anyway, this is mail from last time, which was episode 106, Sins of the Father or Intelligence. And then I'm going to start with a couple comments. I'm going to do it a little bit differently.
Wow,
this time,
okay.
All right. This is from Anonymous Sour Cream. The extra time between podcasts this week has helped me finally catch up to the current episode.
Whoa!
I ended up watching the podcast before the Batman episode, so I got to notice the permanent blue filter James mentioned, and boy, it stood out the whole time. Also, Two-Face said, "It's been a long time, Bird Boy," to Robin, ignoring the fact that he doesn't recognize Tim. Does he think the old Robin just shrunk down for some reason, and that's perfectly normal? So,
Robin, I see you're doing a Benjamin Button here.
I thought you were in college. I know everything about you. The Bee Who Buzzes. Jason Todd and Tim Drake both have two first names. Maybe Ricky Bobby can be a Robin.
Wah, wah.
By the way, you should record the audience clapping and cheering at the event in March and replace the mediocre applause button. Then it's like an event every episode. That's crossed my mind. That's a good idea.
I like that. Also, it'll still only be like 20 people. It'll be the exact same one.
It'll be the new one.
Yeah.
Hopefully somewhere in between, you know.
I mean, more than would be fine.
Yeah, true. Tip Tapricot, Contemplations on Sins of the Father. My return.
Back from forgetting to finish the previous podcast and watch the next episode in time to say anything about it, hell, and wanted to say, wow, I haven't talked verbally to you guys since last year. Whoa. Also,
my
it's 2024
God.
and I keep almost making jokes from this podcast in real life, only to realize that no one else will get them, so rip to that. Anyway, Sins of the Father. I also loved a lot of the emotional beats in this, as well as the fake out of Dick being dead, only for him to come back for what seems like the first time for a while in the end. And while there is a lot of more intense stuff with toxic gas and dads putting the dead in deadbeat, the real takeaway from this is, why the fuck is Tim's bed in the dead center of that room? Who did that and why and how? And also that's terrifying. And why is the room so empty? And anyways, good episode and another notch on the DCAU dick count counter, I guess. Bye.
Dick count counter. Yeah, that was the same little bed in a giant room that Dick Grayson had in Robin's Reckoning. So you just like, this is the Robin's bedroom. This is where he puts him. I didn't think about that at all with like the Dick thing being a death fake out. Like here's his costume, like in a memorial type of deal. Like, I don't think you thought he was dead. I think you just thought he was not there anymore or whatever. So
yeah. I was just kind of like, oh, he's moved on. He's in a better place.
He's not dead. He's just in heaven or something. I don't know. This is from Jordan Newman, Sins of the Father. Jack Ryder's been in Gotham the last few weeks covering a bunch of exciting Batman stuff that y'all missed. That's why there haven't been any messages recently. I definitely wasn't because I got engaged and forgot about everything else for a bit. I forgot about that. Congratulations officially on the podcast. It's not real till we say it on the podcast.
Truth. You're welcome.
Also, this episode takes place before holiday nights, so Ryder is in Metropolis panicking about aliens at this point. I promise I don't have a cork board with red strings keeping track of Jack Ryder's timeline.
I don't believe it.
You're listening to GCN, Gotham City News with Summer Gleason.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tonight in Gotham, Batman and Batgirl stopped Two-Face from doing something nefarious, which would make this a very normal night in Gotham except for the appearance of a new Robin. Where did the old Robin go? Will he ever be back? How? When? And why did this happen? We'll probably never know.
Now over to the music. I really like that we finally got some more Dies Irae in this episode, the underused Dies Irae.
I noticed
it appeared when Tim Drake was running away from the bad guys at the beginning. Some da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. We also got some chimes accompanying the Two-Face motif during the big battle in the third act. I always appreciate some miscellaneous percussion being thrown in. Always good to hear all the old Batman music coming back. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
Miscellaneous percussion would be a good podcast subtitle, but I don't know. Let's see. We've got from Euphonium Star, damage report of the father, clothesline wheel, apartment door, all those donuts, wooden pallets, oil barrels, lots of wooden crates, Batcave stalactites, airport luggage truck, airport luggage, more wooden crates, movie screen, glass bottle, movie projector lens, popcorn machine, I think, yet more wooden crates, dark day for wooden crates, I guess, another movie screen, and Two-Face's doomsday device. Thank you very much.
So much destruction.
Movie projector lenses. I guess that's a thing. I mean, they clearly have some sort of lens.
They have lenses.
I've just never even thought about it. I was just like, yeah, shoot the movie out of it.
Yeah, it's basically a reverse camera.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's just call them that from now on. The Excuse Me Princess Super Show. I think this is a subtitle replacement for action figures. I've got Steel Man in my base camp. This is pretty good.
Wait a minute. Wait, before we go into that universe.
Yeah.
If a projector is an inverse camera and if a projector came first, would that turn cameras into injectors?
Oh, they're not projectors, they're conjectors.
I like it.
They suck the movie into them. This is from LexCorp Cares. Comments on recent Metallo events.
Wait,
I said KO. Oh, you were talking.
Sorry.
Hello, fellow cool yops. Just popping in to give some updates on Metallo, sent from Secure Casnian E-Terminal.
Josh, Branson, how are you two doing? You know, it's a great day over here at LexCorp.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an L lately, you know. It's been a bit of a doozy. They've been calling our creations, bad.
Hang on, isn't an L for you a success? It's a reverse loss, a con loss. Anyway.
Unethical, in violation of the Geneva Convention. Doesn't really matter. But today, Metallo crawls up from the bottom of the sea and goes and befriends children. And then what's he do next? He tries to kill Superman.
Beloved children.
That's perfect. That's all we've ever wanted. This is a great day for us. We're gonna start back up that Metallo program. We're calling it Metallo Friend. Nannies, dead. Babysitters, dead. That whole career, done. Everybody, when you go to work your totally normal, 18, 20-hour shift, you got your Metallo friend back at home watching the kids with his little laser arm and its little kryptonite chest and big chompy jaws. It'll be great. Anyways, I got a lot of stuff to do. Great talking with you. Bye.
That sounds like a really lucrative business venture you got going there.
Also, just the subtlety of you work your 18 to 20 hour shift. Or whatever.
Yeah. I really like all those details from LexCorp does care. We know. the Tip Tap Ricotta and Jordan Newman ones were an accidental miss from last time. So I've got another Jordan Newman for action figures featuring a dog's tippy-tappy toes for the first 3 seconds.
Ooh.
I heard it.
You're listening to the Gotham Insider, reporting live from Metropolis. I've just returned from a few weeks in Gotham, and I gotta tell you folks, there's some wacky stuff going on with that Batman, but I'm here to cover Superman. I'm on assignment, and let's check tonight's top story. Tonight's top story, Superman is not here. Where is I came here to cover Superman, and he needs to be here for that. I guess I'm gonna need to think of a quicker way to get around if I'm gonna keep covering this guy. Now over to music. I really liked the sort of flowery music that was going on when the little girl was making a Superman action figure to give to Metallo, and I really liked the absence of music when Superman was punching boulders during the rock slide sequence. It really added to the suspense. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
The suspense of whether the bits were going to murder the people below him. All you got to do, Jack Ryder, is just start walking on the floor of the ocean. You'll get to Volcano Place in no time. Yeah.
Look, and if it takes you any longer than a year, you've probably done it wrong. By our calculations,
I guess that's how we
just
can figure
year.
out how far away the island is. 1 year's walking distance. Yeah.
But is there like a drag
Superman
coefficient?
Like half an hour to fly there or less. Lois Lane somehow got there very quickly. Also, I don't know. Maybe Metallo didn't walk in a straight line. He was just like. He was spelling Kiltipsism over and over again. I forgot who he was, so he thought he was Mr. Mix. I need to get back home. This is from Ryan Hipp. Action figures it out with Summer Sanders. Oh, hell yeah. Do you remember Figure It Out
I
on
sure
Nickelodeon?
do.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Nobody else ever remembers this.
What?
Me. Yeah.
You know, what Brian said last time really spoke to me. I'm going to bring it back to basics. Do a classic Ryan Hipp voice
Cars.
message. That, and I don't want to do a shit ton of editing this week. It's fucking freezing out here. It's everybody's favorite action go figure. The story of Metallo joining a hockey team in order to become an Olympic figure skater. So I've got 2 questions of the week from Dylan Bollocks. 1, who brings their goddamn kids to fucking Volcano Island? 2, was there supposed to be some kind of like deeper meaning to the whole, oh, Metallo's good, nope, he's evil, he has to be evil thing? Like, are they trying to say that Metallo's evil personified? Because other than being a sex pervert to Lois Lane a couple times, he was really just kind of a guy. Hashtag stupid island, hashtag stupid brother. Here's a clip of Weird Al begging someone to oink like a pig.
What's your favorite animal?
A pig.
Why?
A pig? Can you oink like a pig for me, please? No. Oh, please. Tony, come on. Oink for us. Oink. No. Oink, Tony, oink. You're embarrassing me. Oink now.
No.
Come on, Tony, oink.
Why? Right, God. You don't have to make it to the minute mark. You can just stop when you're done talking.
But, I mean, would it be a Ryan Hipp voice message if there wasn't some chaos in it?
If there wasn't Weird Al, yeah. That's a requirement from now on. Yeah,
Ooh.
Aaron says, wow. My 3-year-old thought that Weird Al's great. Cora Valentine. Chorus catch-up number 3. I'm on episode 54. The animation in Harley and Ivy has a strange quality to it, but I don't think it's bad. Yeah, Brian. Would a hypothetical combination Batman in My Basement / Underdwellers episode merging the 2 plots be better than the 2 bad episodes we have now?
What would the plot be?
I guess because there's both kids in that, so like the
yeah,
kids
but like
escape and then lock Batman in a basement. I don't know.
What if they lock Batman in the sewer?
In the sewer. And there's a king.
And then
in the sewer. The Penguin melts Sewer King's lock with his lockpick gas.
Is Batman in My Basement the Caw episode?
Yes. That's the first Penguin episode, yeah.
In walks the Penguin.
It's me, the sound a penguin makes. Yes, sir, I'm trying to let you sit in my lap, but you keep being upset about it, so make a choice.
Maybe just put him outside in the backyard so he can go to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
what I do.
With your children, yeah. Max, my kid. And DVD and Blu-ray, my other kid. Click, clack, childy child. Excited to one day finally catch up on the pod so I can join the listener singularity. Stay yoptacular.
We'll be here for you.
Yep.
Also, speaking of listener things, I know this last weekend was kind of super chaotic and my brain was firing at about 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Totally meant to give you the Keen Christmas card.
Keen machine
which
stuff. That's
still haven't opened. But like,
I assume they're different. So yeah, we should definitely open them together, I suppose. So.
Yeah.
We'll do that, though, Keen, listening to this. Batgirl Fangirl, action figures. As someone with her fair share of Batgirl action figures, too many Batgirl action figures, actually, I swear they're taking over my place. Anywho, you can imagine that I had this one all sussed out before I pressed play. The Toy Man returns with an evil plan to trap Superman with an army of toy Superman action figures. Clark Kent bursts out of the windscreen of Lois's car at some point and faces off with Toy Man and a gigantic robot Superman that's climbing the Daily Planet like King Kong. I don't envy Brian. I couldn't have been more wrong. A question, if I may. Is there a reason Perry White has so many empty picture frames on his office walls?
Does he?
I didn't notice at all. It's so that the reporters can go, let's get some pictures, guys, and take them all down. It's like Edward Leitner. I think DC should release the homemade action figure with the popsicle stick arms and legs as a collectible. It'll sell well. Having not seen anything beyond this one, I presume Metallo is going to return as Volcano Face. Keen podcast as usual, guys. I continue to enjoy them immensely. 5 stars and 5 erupting volcanoes with lava that looked kind of yummy. Yeah, that's true. It looked like SpaghettiOs.
Suck down that lava.
Yum, yum, yum. The Banana Baby says Goo Goo Gaga translation as a 5th dimensional being. I mean a banana. The art style change between BTAS and the new Batman Adventures doesn't bother me too much because I've seen many universes with many different styles. Shit, I mean I've been left to rot on a many different kitchen counters. Shit, did I just give away that I'm a 5th dimensional being and have been reincarnated multiple times? Shit. I mean, okay. You gotta include the okay somewhere else. It doesn't count, yeah. Cooney Phoenix, yes, Oxford comma supremacy from a comma overuser. Yeah, for sure. No, commas are great.
Yeah.
Banana Landlord, Banana Man has paid the rent. This is okay. Oh, does that mean you'll be headed back home soon? I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
Lobo Boy Fanboy 420. Hello, Max and Rose. It's been far too long, but that is simply because I couldn't stand the lack of Lobo. But according to my Lobo senses, I just know this is an episode I have to weigh in on. I'm going to watch it real quick and come back with my thoughts. WTF? What the frag? That was it? That's all I get? This blows. A single still image for what, 3 seconds? It must have been an Angela Chen's little, like, rattling off the villains at the start or whatever. I didn't brew up a fresh batch of old weasel spit for this. It's almost enough to drive a man to smoke. I do that anyway, but still. 4 out of 10, perfectly fine episode, but it could really benefit from more Lobo. I think. Well, till I message in again, Lobo smooching and saying I love you sent from my space hog.
I really do look forward to Lobo coming back. I assume he comes back. He's ridiculous.
You assume correctly. Kale, Kryptonite Preservation Society. Hello, Gilbert and Borg9. I hope the ice storm wasn't too terrible for either of you. It was fine, I guess. Yeah. I definitely had a few slips of my own in the few forays I made out into the cold. It seems the statue I'm looking for is no longer in Japan, and I've come back to Oregon to continue my hunt.
Nice.
This is looking for Kryptonite. Most of today's cataloging won't be too new, as Metallo is already in the collection, as it were. Size, a heart. Color, green. Current location, non-existent. I understand that Kryptonite's bad for Superman, but does he have to keep destroying what few samples we have that could further scientific discovery?
Though?
Yeah, it's in the lava, but we don't see where it goes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Previously from A City on Krypton, vibe, Honey by Mariah Carey. As a non-museum related observation, why is an episode titled Action Figures About Metallo and not Toy Man, which should have been the obvious connection? Until next time, Kale, founder, curator, and director of operations at the Kryptonite Preservation Society. Thank you. Yeah, Toy Man, action figures. We get it. It's there. Colin Paris, I'm catching up. Is this new? I'm sorry if I don't remember your name. You get one of those when you're new. Hello there. I just wanted to write in and say how much I'm enjoying the podcast. I'm still working my way through the backlog by watching a few episodes of the show and then listening to the podcast at work the next day. I decided to use this as a checkpoint of sorts to check back in if/when I hear it on an episode. I know you're on Superman now, but since I'm still on BTAS, I have a Bat question for Broderick.
Yes.
Of the possible romantic interests that we've met for Batman so far, who would you like for him to end up with? Catwoman, Talia, Zatanna, or maybe some other reoccurring female character like Barbara, some lady, or Dr. Tompkins? Or do you think that place in Batman's heart can only be filled by his rivalry with the Joker? Thanks for all the laughs and being my second favorite BJ. You're welcome.
High praise there. You're going to have to help me on this one. What is the name of the chick from Mask of the Phantasm?
Oh, Andrea. Yeah.
Andrea Beaumont.
Not even
right?
listed there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, her.
Well, no, this conversation was being had in our Discord the other day, too. I don't know if maybe this person was part of that or not, but people were throwing out Andrea as not an option because she just like comes and goes so quickly and just is like, oh,
dude,
like I'm a terrible person. Yeah,
she's the one.
Yeah. I would say that's my answer too. I'm sorry for the loud child in my lap, but he really wants to give me a high five right now. Can you just do it? Do it. High five. Nice. Michael Bono, action figures. Hello, Jenny Craig and Baker's Dozen. As a fan of the Terminator, I'm pretty happy to see Metal O again, even if it means I have to think about why the news would have a whole show dedicated to where Superman's baddies are and what they're up to. Also, short show. She had no new information, so where the heck was that going to go from there? I honestly thought Metal O was going to learn something about like helping people and whatnot because of those kids, but he pretty quickly just uses them to help him figure out a way to kill Superman again. They sort of play with amnesia at first, but ditch it completely. I guess it was cool when Superman ripped Metal O's heart of kryptonite out, but then immediately disappointing that he didn't need it to function at all. Yeah, he still just dives into lava. Well, so I guess teeny spoiler. There are future Metallo episodes where as soon as the kryptonite's removed from him, he just like freezes up and starts powering down and stuff. Like that's what powers him. But in this, he at least, I got the sense that that's why he's chasing after it. Like, fuck, no, I need that to be alive. And then he's stuck at the end. But he's also stuck because he's stuck in fucking dried up lava. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Still alive-ish.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay episode overall, but I do love hearing Malcolm McDowell in his best role as part of a balanced and nutritious breakfast. Metal O's. Get yours today. Warmest of Yops, signed by totally not a cyborg in a trench coat and hat. Thank you. Michelle Salerno. Is this another?
We need a list.
I know we do. Hello, James and Brick. She said
Hello.
My correct name first. I'm emailing you from the past. To be precise, I learned about this podcast very recently, so I'm still on episode 28, which is right after the Underdwellers. I'm sure that name triggers your PTSD of how bad B-Test was at the beginning, but I have to admit, as bad as a lot of those episodes are, I enjoyed all of them. I was hesitant on sending this email because I don't even know if it's still customary to call Brian Brick, but I'm trying to catch up so I can be a part of all the newer episodes. I guess we haven't really given you a fake name among ourselves in quite a while.
No, it's just kind of Brick is just sort of like, it just landed there. Like Brother Brick, there, Broderick, Brick. Yeah. Just kind of they seem like they're just
and
still
then everybody that
along.
writes in just kind of gives you a new one every time. I've lost track. We need a list of that, if anything. If some Karen Mosman or whatever out there that keeps track of these sorts of things, can you like make a list of every nickname Brian has been called? You'll have to re-listen to over 100 episodes of the podcast, but oh well. I'm already about up to where you guys are in the DCAU. You'll hear back from me someday. If not, assume I've been abducted by the Sewer King. See you in the future, Michelle. Thank you. Welcome.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Lenola Cola, of course, Two-Face appears in the second episode of the new Batman Adventures. I hadn't even noticed. That's a good thing. That's cool. And I'm me. And last is from Mark Aquino. Last first. Action figures, or God, the Terminator franchise just keeps going downhill, doesn't it? Metallo's finished his long underwater stroll and enters the episode in a similar way that I'm sure people began 2024, stark naked and with momentary amnesia. Depending on how old they are, I feel like in this day and age, my skin is all gone, oh God. I feel like in this day and age, most kids wouldn't be too scared to see a robot skeleton walking up to them. They play stuff like Fortnite and Call of Duty. A Terminator with green rock candy in his chest wouldn't faze them that much. I imagine they'd be asking Metallo questions like, how could you poop more than once? Also, we never see, they do feed him, I suppose. We never see the boy Bobby pick up his own action figures, which leads me to believe they were left behind when the volcano erupted. Those who value their collectibles probably look at that scene and shed a single tear. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Anywho, I thought this episode was just all right. Always great to hear Malcolm McDowell's voice. The kid actors were good, and it was a pleasant... Yeah, I guess I hadn't even thought about that the kid actors were not distractingly, like, poor actors. Like,
yeah, they were pretty good.
Usually you go, oh, the kid's great. Like, it's bad. Yeah. It was a pleasant surprise to hear the scientist dad was voiced by the great Ernie Hudson. Also dug the animation. TMS came back for this one and did some good work with the flowing lava effects. And hey, it's still better than Terminator 3 through 5. Haven't seen the most recent one, though, so I can't say anything in regards to that. I have, and it's bad. Did I tell you about the gun in the newest Terminator that is straight up a Nerf gun that we used in Vireality?
You're kidding.
There's a scene where they have to justify why Arnold is old in all the more recent ones, and he's like some Terminator that's just been left behind or something. I can't remember in his biology ages or whatever the fuck. And he's like living on like a ranch by himself, and he's got all these like practice targets and big guns and shit in his backyard. And he picks up one, he's like, try this, and like hands it off to the main girl or whatever. And it's literally the gun that we used at that steel mill or whatever, the like sniper gun.
Yeah.
Like that we shoddily last second spray painted silver. And it doesn't look like they did much more than that with the scene. Like they did a little more weathering or whatever. Yeah, I will.
Awesome. I need to see this.
I was in like one of 5 people in the theater, and I was just laughing and no one understood. Like a couple people looking back at me like, why the fuck is he
You're
laughing?
like, it's a Nerf gun.
I promise. Yeah. I have it right here in the theater with me. Anyway, Boss Biggest Bear Hug is the #1 podcast host in this year multiverse of ours, Johnny Knoxville and Burning Desire. Praise to see there's another one. Praise to our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast, and remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise, to all his loyal disciples, all the names. You're all the absolute best, and don't you ever forget that. We got a new soundboard. I'll miss the jankiness of the old one, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Oh, this one's plenty janky. Last week, there was a big push to make this podcast more intelligent. Clearly, this was an attempt to win back that friend of mine I mentioned to you all before that I tried introducing the podcast to. In the hopes that it would work this time, I actually did send him a link to this episode. This was his exact reply. Dude, stop sending me these. They're still annoying as fuck. Seriously, I get that you like them, but I told you before, this isn't my kind of thing at all. Oh well, back to the drawing board. Hey, fuck you, Mark friend. I'm going on record. I'm not editing that out. This episode for sure was not intelligent.
I disagree.
The entire fucking time. This was a good episode.
We upped our intelligence by at least 33%.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Whatever it was before, it was multiplied by 33%.
It was 1% before.
Yeah, that's true. Also, in regards to the WF live episode you guys are planning, are you going to completely skip reading comments for that one? I only asked because I won't be able to make it in person for the show. Right now, I can't afford both a plane ticket and a hotel, so I wanted to share my thoughts on WF for that live show. What do you recommend that I do? Till next week, big ol' whoosh, I just flew away. I had mentioned that we'll read some, like, classic there from the start type of comments, and you certainly fall into that level, but they will be limited and mostly just be the people that are there.
How much are hotels are pricey, aren't they?
You could just sleep on the ground. Sleep in the flesh tent before you get there.
We'll just set up like a campground in my backyard. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and Brian does have quite a spacious backyard. We can make room. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just Mark Aquino.
Yeah.
And his his friend that he's bringing that doesn't like the show. Please bring your friend that doesn't like the show to the live show, just so he can just boo us the whole time. Yeah, that's the comments.
Cool.
And then we go back to the past future.
Bring it on.
How many Bring It On movies are there?
1?
No, at least 2 or 3.
Nah.
Have you seen any of them?
No.
Okay, cool. Oh God, I was walking on the bottom of the ocean. I forgot how to do a podcast.
Remember.
Can you guys take it from here?
You are Jane. Yes. I can.
Brian, I hate Brian.
Damn it.
Kimmy's little clay figure of Brian, and crush it in my hand.
No!
I would never do that.
Well, I gotta say that I felt very VIP as a listener of this podcast when I was going on holiday, and I messaged James and I was like, look, your episode comes out at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon my time. on a Friday, and I'm leaving at like 5 a.m. So hook a brother up, and
I did send you the link early.
I felt very privileged. I was on the plane, and I was listening to it before anybody else, so that was really nice.
Only because of your time zone bullshit,
Yeah, fucking. I'm living on Roofie Island. There is no time over here.
No time on Roofie Island. Yeah.
The next time you go on a tropical vacation, I expect some callbacks to this episode.
Just wearing a fedora, a trench coat.
I was just going to say you're wearing a scarf and a trench coat and a hat.
Naked underneath.
Yeah, you're like, yes, you've done well. You say to the shop owner. No one will ever recognize me.
I do kind of want to just like wear a big hat and like a tan trench coat sometime and just look all suspicious and just see how people react around me, because I feel like publicly we're conditioned to know that that's someone who's up to no good.
Yeah.
Like, what will the real world think of it?
A pedo, Brian. They're going to think you're a fucking pedo.
Shit. You're right. Okay, never mind. Scratch that.
Is that Inspector Gadget over there?
Don't let him near your kids,
I don't remember him being naked.
Still makes a boing sound.
Yeah, I need a boing on the just find that whenever that Riddler episode where he looks at the hot ladies and you hear that like boing. All right, Brian, the next episode is called Double Dose. First, do you think it is a Batman or a Superman episode?
Dose as in like DOSE.
Yeah, that would be better if it was like double dose.
Yeah, like Spanish too. Double dose.
Mm-hmm.
Batman?
No.
Damn.
I mean, to be fair, I would think it's like a Two-Face episode, right? With a title like that.
Yeah,
that's a good. But he was just in the last Batman episode. Yeah.
So? There's no rules on Roofie Island.
2-time, baby, I'm back.
He comes back as Harvey Dent. It's metallic. Hey, Bruce. I think I was stuck in a volcano, but they got me out.
Okay.
I hate Rupert Thorne. That's all I remember.
Okay, so it's a Superman episode. Dose, medicine, doctors.
Thinking too hard, but yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's two bad guys together.
You're not supposed to tell me that.
I want you to have a better chance.
Well, if it's two bad guys, I'm going to guess it's Bebop and Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Versus Superman, is that right?
Wait, who did we say? Oh, it's the Space Rhino and the Space Hog. Yeah, yeah. It's just Lobo's motorcycle and the Rhino.
Lobo's coming back. Yeah.
Out of the fires of Mount Doom come Bebop and
Rocksteady. Lobo's motorcycle on Roofie Island.
Just comes driving out of the ocean.
Remember, you're a motorcycle from space. You will always remember.
I've laughed myself to a headache over this episode.
Good. That's what happens when Alex is
I
here.
know, my God, dude. We just never laugh as hard as ever just like unless you're here.
When British Dylan Pollock's here. We just let him know, yeah.
But I've still not seen what he looks like. I need to see what he looks like.
Wait, have you not still? Really?
Well, why would I?
Why would he have?
Just follow him on Instagram.
I went to Dylan Pollock's house and I just knocked on the door and I said, I think I'm from the Daily Planet. Can I please interview you and know what you look like?
Dylan Pollock, I remember.
Oh God, how can I come
what
on? There
Brian is doing now is showing a picture of Dylan Pollock.
It's fairly similar, to be fair.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, and does he live in New Jersey?
No, he's in New York.
No, it's New York. Yeah.
Oh well, fucking close enough. Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
close enough by whose standards?
Well, I lived in New Jersey, so I can say that.
Don't tell Dylan that.
Yeah.
My headphones have continuously gotten stuck on the dials because this soundboard does not have a headphone jack on the front, so I had to order one off jeffbezos.com. And it was supposed to be here on Saturday, but it's not here, and I'm telling all of you this for a reason.
Jeff Bezos.
And that reason is that we're done with the podcast. Jeff Bezos wins the Balderarchy.
Every single time.
He's the antagonist.
Before I get cut off, I do a podcast. It's called Batman the Animated Series Podcast. It's available on podcast platforms. Make sure you check it out. Thank you very much. Bye.
No, say it slower.
Oh my God! Wait, can you say it faster?
No, I'm not going to be like an auctioneer. I do. I have a lot of fun listening to you guys, and I love being on this show. And I also do a show with my brother, who's a comic book artist and writer, and we review Batman the Animated Series. Kind of in the vein of this show. And it's just good time. So go check it out on all podcast platforms. We do video reviews as well. But you can get it on Spotify and all that good stuff. We have reviews. We have guests from the show came on. We just had Adrienne Barbeau, the voice of Catwoman, come on a couple months ago, which was great. Really cool. Yeah, it was fun. We've had Alan Burnett on a few times, Rich Vogel, Kevin Altieri, all that good stuff. So check it out. And we review episodes, dive into toy reviews, ranking, like just everything Batman the Animated Series we would like to cover, and that's what we're doing. So go check it out.
Yeah,
it's lots
of fun.
It's a great podcast, and I definitely listened to about half of it, and then I hear like when you say like Batman Beyond, I'm like, and that's where I stop listening.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's too many spoilers for Brian.
Oh, that's too many spoilers.
I listen to as much as I can.
Look, you have to cater your entire output to Brian's spoiler needs because, as I told him this weekend, we put out our Batman Beyond video on last Thursday, which if you're listening, then go watch that.
Great video. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that video.
Thank you. I had to put in the like social media description basically being like hey, remember that thing that happened? No, you don't. Watch the video. Be like, keep it out of Brian's like view.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, the videos have been great. I started watching the Watchtower videos because of this podcast. So like this podcast introduced me to the YouTube channel.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Brian.
I've got one question for you, James. Have you read The Long Halloween yet, dude?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay, cool. All right.
That's right. I remember you mentioning
the
that.
review where I said I hadn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, so I've just enjoyed the hell out of this podcast and keep on doing what you're doing because it was my number one listened to podcast last year above my own. Yeah.
But Alex, I hope we get you back again, man. It's just
like
always
whenever there's a British person that shows up.
I was just gonna say we didn't even say why you were here this time.
True.
It was like the last one was like, oh, it's because it's the last Batman episode. We want to have him on for a Batman episode, and it just happens to be taking place in London. Isn't that funny? And then this summer, like you had asked me to come on again like a couple different times, and finally we're like, okay, well I guess let's do action figures because, there's a British guy in it. And then I went to my list of guest listeners, and I already had you down for action figures, meaning we already had that discussion and came to the same stupid joke.
Amnesia!
we were on Rupee Island. It was too late. We never left.
I suspect this podcast is going to get a lot of listens, specifically because people are going to listen to it and forget that they've listened to it, and they're going to have to listen to it again.
True. Go back.
And then forget to listen to it, and they're going to go back again. It's just going to be this.
That should just be the subtitle of the episode is you haven't listened to this one yet.
Oh yeah. No, come on. You can't rob us of S stands for Swole.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely going to be it. Okay. The amount of times we said that, I was like, that's it. It's right there. Yeah.
Also, got to be on a T-shirt. Maybe it is.
It's just copyrighted Superman logo. But it's Swole. It's not Superman.
Well, if everyone's going to keep on forgetting, again, I do a podcast. It's called Batman the Animated Series.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Next week, hopefully, I guess, whatever.
Tremendous outro, Jamie.
It's so still and dark. No sound, no light, nothingness. My mind, I cannot let it drift. I must remember. I am Metallo. I am Metallo.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.